Welcome back to Tales from the Shelf. Basket Case is a super low budget horror movie from the early 80s. Now, right off the bat, this movie is very difficult to talk about without going into spoilers, so if you want to go in as blind as possible, I'd recommend you stop watching now. Alright, now, assuming you're still watching, the film is about a young man in New York City who always carries around a basket with him, and that basket contains something rather unusual. Getting to the twist right off the bat, about 30 minutes in is when you get the big reveal. Turns out the basket actually contains his deformed brother. They were conjoined twins at birth, but were later separated, with the deformed brother, named Belial, being left for dead. Now the two brothers are traveling New York City to take revenge on the doctors that performed the surgery. This goes without saying, but that is an insane concept. And to make matters even weirder, Belial can telepathically communicate with his brother. Now, how is he able to do this? Like I said, the film is set in New York, and it does a good job capturing that grimy, seedy atmosphere of the city at the time. Every location is dirty, scuffed up, and just looks unpleasant. Perfectly fits the low-budget feel. Actually, despite a reported $35,000 budget, the film has plenty of great bloody effects. Not the deepest or most intricate, but that adds to the low-budget feel. The one effect that really doesn't hold up the best is the famous stop-motion scenes. Now, don't get me wrong, I love me some stop-motion movies from this era, and this one is no exception. It's still very charming to see, but there is a lot of movement between frames, and everything in these scenes moves at the exact same speed. Not a bad stop-motion effect, but there were better ones even from before this movie came out, even movies I've already talked about. Something this bizarre, twisted, and kind of sick even, was obviously not going to be the most mainstream thing back when it first came out, but the film gained considerable popularity as a midnight movie, specifically in New York, fittingly enough. The film got popular enough that 2 sequels were even made by the same director. One thing I noticed in the credits is that the film is dedicated to Herschel Gordon Lewis. Now, if you don't know who that is, he was the king of low-budget exploitation movies back in the 60s and 70s. He pretty much invented the modern splatter genre, earning himself the nickname the Grandfather of Gore. I have a whole box set of his movies here, released by Arrow, the same company who released my copy of Basket Case. The final thing that's worth noting is that the Museum of Modern Art actually chose this film for preservation, giving the film the chance to be upscaled to 4K. Safe to say, Basket Case's legacy as a cult film speaks for itself. Man, that was a lot, and I barely even talked about the actual plot of the movie. But that's because there's, honestly, not much to talk about without going into the entire plot of the movie. It's a bizarre but very charming little horror movie. If you're into that kind of stuff, check it out.